First of all, I want to thank the SEL team because it's not often in a district that the technology group and the SEL group are like partners in so many things. And besides the tiny home, which has been an amazing partnership, we have Bearded Batman. I hope I'm not revealing that. Is that your secret identity thing? Is that okay? We don't know. It might be Bearded Batman. So our relationship around some of the videos we're going to talk about later. But even, I wrote a grant to the Dell Foundation 5 years ago, right before COVID. We were going to make these dashboards, and it was going to compare all these bits of data, and then the company went bankrupt. And then like 2 weeks later, Helena and Rosanna come into cabinet, and they're like, look at this spreadsheet Michael made. It compares all this data. And look what I'm like, wow, great. Michael spends a weekend, and the company that went bankrupt could not figure it out. So good job, Michael. Well done. So, he deserves a round of applause. It's crazy good data nerdness. Yes, it is epic levels of nerd data, and it's wonderful. Even the fact that he pulled Thrively, and he's like, Jeremy, look, I can take all the future architects that GPAs have just dropped, and we talk with them, and they have something in common before we even start the meeting. I'm like, dang, man, well done. So great job with the SEL team. We're big fans. So we're going to talk about digital wellness for a few minutes here, Pablo and I both. Really, our collaboration here with the SEL team has been very natural and very important. So rather than just digital citizenship, as we went into last year, when we turned this into digital wellness and broadened it, and we started looking at what are really the pieces here? How can we go deeper into digital without just giving one more thing onto our teachers' plates? Could we look at what something we're doing with Second Step, and could we sort of digitize that and change it so it's sort of a similar time frame but a better lesson? So we're going to talk about that in just a few moments with Pablo. But the MDM, there was another big piece this year, which we're continuing with, and we're pushing out through our Sunday messaging from all of our from our sites to our parents on how to control those iPads at home, because that was a big ask, and that was something that was important last year. So it does get erased each year as we collect all 12,000 iPads, and we have to refresh them and send them back out. So each year we want to keep pushing out to parents how to do that and making sure that they're comfortable with that and they have options to come into the office or to call us if they need help with that. And we have instructions in 3 languages on all of the websites. So I want to turn over to Pablo to talk about digital common sense.
Now, it did not escape me that the SEL team is coordinating. So if you see that, and I think Jeremy and I kind of fit right in.
With the blue?
They were wearing blue, I know.
Very well done. It did not escape me.
Pablo.
So Common Sense Media has been around since about 2003 as an organization. And they're advocates in education for digital wellness and digital citizenship. And I'm proud to say that as a district, we are 6 years running with every school in the district being Common Sense Media certified. So that deserves a round of applause, for sure. To all the teachers and all the principals who make that happen, it's very impressive. We do have some updated lessons that we rolled out this year, and I'm really appreciative of the feedback that we've gotten by some of the teachers in the district. So we are revamping those as we speak, because we have left some things off, and anytime you do anything new, we miss certain things. So we certainly want to support the teachers and a smooth rollout. So we're continuing to mess a little bit with the matrix. The matrix is what you see there on the screen. I know it's tiny, but there is a lot of links to every lesson. There's 3 lessons on digital wellness, digital citizenship within that matrix at all grade levels, not in TK, but K8. And then we also have resources for families, which is new this year, but we want to make sure that we are advocating for the families that once a lesson is delivered, that it is supported at home if the family wants to do so. So those are the family activities. And then in conjunction or in collaboration with the SEL team, we went into Second Step, and for the second semester, we were able to provide an SEL performance task. And so traditionally, SEL had a performance task in the second semester, but we kind of digitized that and made it in the area of digital wellness and digital citizenship. And then we have some examples. I believe these are from Pamela's class, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So this is from last year. And so these are some of the performance tasks around digital wellness.
Can you explain what
I was gonna say,
a
go ahead.
performance task is? Is that an assignment?
Sure. Yeah. So what that is, and so what second step has is it has 4 units. So third unit and fourth unit, the themes of those units worked really well with digital wellness. I believe it was like relationships, and that's a big one because obviously the online relationships are really important. So what happens is, and Rosanna, you can correct me as I go, or Amy, I believe there are 12 lessons and then a performance task in each unit, or 6.
There's usually in one unit, there's usually 6 lessons.
Oh, sorry.
And the 6th lesson is a performance task. So they introduced the new concept that focused around one of the CASEL 5 that they're trying to work with kids on. And then at the end of that, they always offer some kind of a performance task where kids can like put it in motion. So,
Can you give us an example?
Sorry, translators.
An example of that?
A performance task might be if we could pick a young grade. If what the focus was friendships and teaching little kids about in friendships, sometimes you have to have empathy. So it might be like they do different scenarios throughout the unit of like, look at body language, look at faces, how do we know how kids feel? So they work on that in the various lessons. And then the performance task might be something like, your class is going to act out a play or a scenario where someone is upset, so the teacher can like tell someone secretly like, you're gonna be mad or you're gonna be scared, and they're gonna have the kids act it out, and the kids are going, like other kids in the class are gonna walk up and say, are you okay? Or, you know, like I'm talking kindergarten level as an example, but are you okay? And what can I do to help you? And it's really just a chance for kids to not just receive the information, but like put it into action. So, I mean, that's on a very basic level, but so what he's talking about is at the end of every unit, there's a performance task. So they did a digital performance task. If you want to go from
Absolutely. So something like 8th grade, it might have looked like before. And I will tell you, we have to look careful saying their second step, because second step was like, you can't modify any of our stuff. So we said, okay, we just won't use your stuff at all for that last lesson. So we've fully created our own for that final when they just go to ours instead of going to second step. But it's wrapped around the concept of what second step has done. So let's say 8th grade, there was a unit on relationships and friendships. And the old performance task was create a diagram of how you know what a friendship looks like. Well, that's an easy one, because then we said, you know what, no, we're going to do a compare and contrast. How do you know a real life friendship versus an online friendship? Like, what's the difference between knowing how you related to, or how do you have a friend who's online? Have you ever met them in real life? Does someone else know them? How are you connected to them? Do you know they're even your age level, or that they're a boy or a girl, or whatever they say they are, or who they are? So you can modify. So what we did was we looked at the themes, and then we came up with ones that are more digitally oriented around their online life. And so we took all those themes and matched it to that. So that's what they did with those. So that we were very excited about. We had some great work done. Thank you again, Pamela, for this. And I will tell you, one of those things with the family activities, just like what Pablo was talking about, if we need to adjust something, thank you, Pamela, because she emailed me and said, Jeremy, this took forever. Couldn't you have made us like a list of all these links? And I'm like, yes, we 100% could have. I am so sorry. I'm like, I'm sorry it's too late. She's like, it's not too late. I'm like, you're right. Pablo, on it. So Pablo's done almost all of them already. We'll have the rest of them done tomorrow. We'll blast them out. No, perfect. This is exactly what we want. We want someone to say, yeah, that's neat and all, because sort of gave us a bunch of extra work to do. And we're like, I am so sorry. That is never our intent. So thank you, Pamela. I appreciate that Pamela texts me and stuff and emails and says, hey, I've got something that'll make us all happier. And then I'm like, yes, we'll do that thing. So so thank you. And so Pablo's almost done, and he'll blast those out to teachers tomorrow. But we do want parents to have access to those sources to say, oh, yeah, you learned about this today in school. Let's talk about it at home, maybe around the dinner table. Okay, and then
Whenever somebody gives you something that needs to be done, you immediately hand it over to Pablo?
Depends who it is. Depends on the task, but yes, often, yes.
Pablo is the man.
Pablo's the man. All right, so what's coming up? We updated the survey this year. So we did our survey last year. We did the first one we did in November, and then we utilized the results from the November survey to create a new lesson based on where our weak points were. So we've revamped that survey because we did a lot of like strongly agree to strongly disagree, and we sort of felt that wasn't great for the students because, and their understanding, especially at like the 4th grade level, of what that really means. So instead, we changed them all to scenarios where what does strongly agree actually mean. So we moved from a 5-point scale to 4 actual, it's like if someone you don't know contacts you online and asks you to meet them in person, what do? I never meet them and I tell a parent or someone at school. I never meet them but don't tell anybody. I sometimes meet them, I always meet them. So we gave them some scenarios because strongly agree to strongly disagree with I never meet them, there's some gray area there. We'd like to give them some more scenarios to click through. So we changed the survey this year a little bit. And the survey we do in the spring, we're going to add some questions about the phone policy. We felt it's a little too early to ask them their opinions yet because by the time some of these guys did it, it was like day 2. But we'll add in some questions about how do you feel about not having your phone, and we'll see what they come back with as students. We have new counselor videos coming, so again, we're going to work with our SEL team for 5th, 6th, and 8th grade, again, based on our survey results. We're going to do continuing parent sessions. I went to all the schools that asked me to go last year. Plus, we have parent videos coming in September, where we're going to make the presentations, plus I'm going to do some walkthroughs on the websites as we've updated some of our things around gaming and around social media. So we'll do some walkthroughs that will get translated and we'll post those. So if PTAs, rather than having me out, the PTAs could just play it, or they could send it home with their parents and say, hey, play this at home if you want to, instead of having me out to talk. So that is our current digital wellness. We are also, one more thing. We modified our acceptable use policy, which used to be like 8 pages of legal speak. Nothing against the attorneys in the room. Legal speak is wonderful because it protects us, but sometimes it's like, it's hard to understand. So it's now 1.5 pages on responsible use rather than acceptable use. So we try to flip it to be more positive. There are certain things that can't be absolute positive language. You sometimes have to say you can't do that thing. But we tried to change that a little bit, so that's gone home to all of our students. And it was also part of, even though it was part of AIR where parents needed to read it, we know sometimes maybe if you're in a rush, you might skip 1 or 2 of the things as you're reading. Who knows if you do or not. But we wanted to send that home as well because that's a really important piece, that parents are reading and seeing what we're agreeing to in our digital world. So that's been modified as well. And so, I think, was there one other thing? No, I think that's it. We're excited for what's happening with digital wellness. Oh, we got accepted to California School Boards Association. I'm sad because, honestly, we put up 2. We put in Tiny Home, which is like unique to the entire country. Like I cannot find one other middle school that's done this. I can't find one high school that's put a family into it. Like I've seen other high schools have built tiny homes and then sold them or shipped them to like down to Mexico or sent them to a community and like let somebody buy it. I can't find one that's done what we've done. So I'm a little sad that the California school boards did not accept that for our presentation because I thought that was vital and important.
I think what they look for when they do those is, can other school districts easily replicate it, right? And so I don't think
Sure they
other
can.
schools are ready to easily replicate it yet,
Yeah.
or willing yet. No one,
How was that not
they might
easy
not
to
be there
do?
yet.
Right.
It's not
I
the
mean-
easiest thing to do. We know that.
We
So
do.
I
I
think they're
appreciate
just
that.
not willing to
Right.
put that out there yet.
Yeah, but we did get accepted for this, which again I also think is relatively unique in the fact that rather than just here's a bunch of lessons, we've worked with a number of departments to come together and say what does the entire envelope of digital wellness look like for our students, and how does that wrap into SEL, and how does that wrap into our teaching through Second Step and other things. So we're excited to present that when we get to San Diego. So our board will be there, and Pablo and I will be there, and we'll talk about what we did. Oh, Anaheim, that's right, not San Diego, that's right, Anaheim. I'm sorry. All right.
Pablo, you are
questions?
still the man,
Yeah.
though. You are still the man.
right.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Jeremy, for that.
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on to our consent agenda. Yeah, there is a meeting. I know it just kind of seemed like we were just kind of chatting amongst us. But
Thank you all for that. That
Yes.
was wonderful. So we really truly appreciate all the time and effort that you guys put into that. And I love the collaboration between the departments. I think that's key. So thank you.
anyone else? Comments?
Thank you for pointing out the all-in-building.
Anyone else?
With
Yeah.
the parent presentations that you talked about, Jeremy, is there a list of those on the resources page on our website, or how would parents find those?
There will be when we make the videos. Right now we have the one which is a cybersecurity. I had been going school to school, but we didn't record them at the schools because we had offered them to all 20. I was going out. But when we saw not as many folks coming to them, we said, okay, to make some videos. So we're going to make some chapterized videos. We'll post those all on the site, so it'll be the video with the title under it once it's there. At the moment, we have an older cybersecurity one plus a bunch of resources under that parent safety. But as we create those, we'll library those. Yeah, that's under parents. There's an internet safety button, and it's there built in with all of our other resources. That's more on cybersecurity, passwords, things like that, more around the home safety and how to deal with it at home, filters and things like that. The digital wellness piece that I've presented on, we haven't made a movie of that yet. That'll be coming next month.
So it covers other topics more on online safety, including gaming, social media use, screen use, things like that.
Yeah, it's sort of like phones, like what software comes on your phone, then what software comes added by your carrier, then what software you could add on top of that to protect your family, kind of thing. So we do a lot of that when we go out to the sites. Just depends on what the questions are.
And when are we going to see the results of the updated survey from this fall?
We have
from our kids?
1,700 in so far, which is nice for being this little bit of time. So yeah, to the teachers who've been on it. So and then we'll see. So my hope is, we'd see 7,000 or so by the time we're all done, 6,000. So it should be. We give people 30 days to complete all the digital citizenship lessons and digital wellness. So my hope is by about the 35th day of school, I can give you guys access to all the reports. And we can see the percentages.
Is that fourth grade and up?
Fourth and up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so it's not the same as assessment of the Common Sense Media lessons. It's a separate survey of how our kids are relating to digital life.
Yes.
Okay. Great. And are they taking the survey before they get their lessons? Because it might influence them, right?
They are. I think it's yeah. I think it says on there, please take this first, right? I think on the matrix, it says please take this first. It's always better to take it immediately after you've learned something, right? Because then we look really good. We put on the matrix. Please give it first.